On May 15, 2013, the U.S. Navy and the Missile Defense Agency achieved another successful intercept of a ballistic missile target from the sea, further validating the deployed Aegis Ballistic Missile Defense engagement capability. Flight Test Mission 19 validated the performance of the second-generation Aegis BMD system and Standard Missile 3 Block 1B against an Aegis Readiness Assessment Vehicle C, ARAV-C target, a complex short-range ballistic missile target which incorporates a separating mock warhead. Aegis BMD has made operational realism a foundation of testing, using tactical configured systems operated by fleet sailors conducted under operational conditions. During FTM-19, Commander, U.S. Navy Operational Test and Evaluation Force continued the assessment of the Aegis BMD 4.0.2 and SM-3 Block 1B integrated combat system. Their assessment will support an upcoming initial production decision for the SM-3 Block 1B by the Undersecretary of Defense for Acquisition, Technology, and Logistics. A U.S. Navy Aegis cruiser was positioned more than 250 nautical miles off the coast of Kauai, conducting a simulated BMD station patrol. The ship used tactical fleet guidance to configure the Aegis weapons system to protect the ship's designated defended area. Based on mission planner outputs, the ship's crew programmed the Spy-1 radar to perform a search optimized for the assigned ballistic missile defense mission. Prior tests of the second-generation Aegis BMD system have examined performance against a unitary target, a separating target, and a separating target with a complex debris scene. FTM-19 continues to increase mission complexity with a sophisticated separating target. Continued stressing tests will prove that the system will perform successfully under operational conditions. The ARAV-C target was launched from the Pacific Missile Range facility on the island of Kauai. The ship's crew was not informed of the exact target location or launch time. The target flew a nominal trajectory, and roughly halfway through the flight, the mock warhead separated from the booster. As the target rose above the horizon, the Spy-1 radar acquired the target and placed it in a track using the Ballistic Missile Defense signal processor. The Aegis Ballistic Missile Defense Weapons System developed the fire control solution, and the ship's crew readied the ship for missile launch. Target track data was shared with other elements of the ballistic missile defense system via tactical data links. Several minutes after target launch, the ship's crew fired the Standard Missile 3 Block 1B, Eagles Away. The missile completed booster burn and separation, followed by second-stage rocket motor burn and separation. Airborne cameras tracked the missile throughout most of its flight. During this stage of flight, the Aegis Ballistic Missile Defense Weapons System uplinked guidance commands to the Standard Missile 3 Block 1B. After second-stage separation, the third-stage rocket motor ignited, propelling the Standard Missile 3 Block 1B up and out of the atmosphere and into space. After the first pulse of the third stage burned out, the missile coasted for a brief period, then ignited the second pulse. After second pulse burnout, the missile pitched over and ejected the nose cone, exposing the Standard Missile 3 Block 1B kinetic warhead. Then the missile pitched back toward the target. During this time, the Aegis Ballistic Missile Defense Weapons System, using Spy-1 radar and the Ballistic Missile Defense Signal Processor, continued to perform RF discrimination of the target objects and provided updates to the Standard Missile 3 Block 1B. While still attached to the third stage, the kinetic warhead searched the scene. Using the two-color seeker and information from the Ballistic Missile Defense Signal Processor, the missile determined which object was the correct target and tracked it. The kinetic warhead was then ejected from the third stage. After separation, the throttleable divert and attitude control system was ignited. The kinetic warhead stabilized and continued to track the target and calculated divert commands for the improved divert and attitude control system to close in on the target. As range decreased, the target image grew in the field of view. The two-color seeker, advanced signal processor, and improved divert and attitude control system guided the kinetic warhead to intercept. Mark India, a direct hit. This test demonstrated the system's ability to acquire, track, and intercept a complex separating ballistic missile warhead under operational conditions. Numerous ground, sea, and air-based platforms observed the intercept. The energy from the impact is calculated to be in excess of 125 megajoules, the equivalent of a 10-ton truck traveling more than 600 miles per hour hitting a wall. Another successful intercept for Aegis Ballistic Missile Defense, which further validates the deployed Aegis Ballistic Missile Defense engagement capability. This was the third successful test using the Aegis Ballistic Missile Defense Baseline 4.0 weapons system, including the Ballistic Missile Defense Signal Processor and the standard Missile 3 Block 1B missile. The engagement was performed under strict operational testing conditions and again validated the fleet's ability to conduct operational planning, operate and maintain the Aegis Ballistic Missile Defense 4.0 weapon system and SM-3 Block 1B, and successfully intercept a separating ballistic missile target. This test was an important step for the second-generation Aegis Ballistic Missile Defense System. Observations from this test will complete the flight test requirements for the standard Missile 3 Block 1B all-up-round production decision. Further testing in 2013 will continue to confirm operational effectiveness and suitability, leading to a standard Missile 3 Block 1B full-rate production decision and deployment in support of global requirements in support of the combatant commanders. The Missile Defense Agency and the U.S. Navy are continuing to improve and deploy this Aegis Ballistic Missile Defense capability in support of global deployment requirements and specifically the European Phased Adaptive Approach Phase 2, Aegis Ballistic Missile Defense. We deliver.